he managed to take the vultures out at the 5 o'clock position with his main force. That stasis buying him the time that he needed. He's got more vultures coming in. Goliath's firing at more arbiters coming in. Goliath's firing at the arbiter, trying to take it out. Spider-Mine's holding up the zealots. They're trying to get in within range, and this might be it here. This might be the game-winning maneuver. If anytime he can get his forces in position before the rest of that stasis field wears off, and he is indeed coming in. He's attacking from all directions. Mine desperately trying to defend, trying to reinforce his forces. Scan going off to try and see there are no arbiters there. The siege tanks are getting taken out, and this is going to be horrible for Mine. He's now going to lose the forces that were unfortunately have been stasis, and anytime's going to get and stasis field wearing off just in the nick of time for Mind, and he just barely survives the attack, but he lost a significant number of forces in the process. Mind, you have to feel though that he has pulled himself back into the game. He is in a decent position in the game. He's now flowing that command center back over at the 7 o'clock position, and it might look like this might be unfortunate timing for him, because there is a Dragoon down there, I believe, at the 5 o'clock position waiting just for that. Anytime hasn't been able to get a decent storm off though thus far. Mine has done a good job of preventing those High Templars from coming into play. He continues to raid expertly with those vultures, and I'm getting a sense that that is his strength here. These kind of big roaming maps where he can play for position and where he can outmaneuver his opponent and just micro heavily all over the place. That seems to be Mine's strength, and he's doing a great job of it thus far. Anytime doesn't seem to have a substantial force left on the ground. I would say that in terms of, it looks like Anytime is going to catch. Anytime managed to catch the dropship as it was going for a drop at Mine's at his base probably for the 5 o'clock position, and Anytime manages to catch the dropship, take it out. Mine managed to drop a dropship, but unfortunately that got taken out as well. And Anytime now making a push towards that expansion. Storm going on from Anytime, managed to cast most of those vultures, but now those Dragoons are surrounded. Spider-Mine's going on all of the vultures, and Anytime is not going to be able to lose those Dragoons. He's going to lose a group of about 8 Dragoons here to those vultures, and Mine not losing a lot of vultures in the process. Great play by Mine, catching those Dragoons in the valley, pincering them from both sides and taking them out, and he's done this all game. And now Anytime's forces are depleted to a handful of platoons, and he's in massive trouble here. He's taken that middle expansion from the 7 o'clock main as well, and established, and I think he's taken the natural expo outside of it as well. So Anytime's economy is not in bad shape, but his ground forces have been whittled away, and slowly and surely the momentum of this game has continued to shift in Mine's favor. Anytime unable to deliver the killing blow, unable to starve his opponent of resources, and in the end, and EMP going off from Mind on most of Anytime's units, and those units are now going to die quickly to these advancing marauding forces of Mind. It looks like Mind is actually going to come out the victor here, I feel. Anytime trying to get in within range of those siege tanks, but unfortunately just not having enough forces, and the EMP making a huge difference. He has got upgrades of, from what I can tell on my very dusty screen, 212, but that's not going to be enough against Mind's superior firepower. And really, if Mind was doing well before, when Anytime had control of the map, now that he has control of the map, it's going to be a completely different game altogether, and Anytime is really going to struggle, I feel. D-Matrix going off on the siege tank as well, and Mind well in place. Anytime really needs to do something here, trying to bring some reinforcements in from his main down south towards that expansion, trying to defend it, because that is the only place where he's got resources. And an EMP going off, but Mind managed to get the stasis field, but unfortunately he only caught the science vessels in the stasis field, and that's not really going to bother Mind too much. That stasis is not going to bother Mind too much at all, and he easily polishes off the pitiful advancing forces off Anytime just having a couple of arbiters left from that attack, and looks like Anytime is going to lose this game. Looks like Mind is going to win, and I really feel that the mistake that Anytime made was trying to break Mind's defenses in his main twice. Both of those attacks failed, even though he took out a significant number of force in the first attack. But the second attack, certainly he went in too far, and literally just his units walked into a killing zone with siege tanks positioned on the ramps all around in a big sea around him, and unfortunately lost most of his forces there, and that's what allowed Mind back into the game. Anytime surrendering a little bit of map control there, and now losing that expansion. Anytime surrendered map control at that point, and now he's lost his natural expo at the 7 o'clock base. So this looks like it's going to be GG. Looks like Anytime is going to go out of the competition. Mind is going to get a crack in a Terran versus Terran matchup versus Frozian in the losers final. Well played by Mind. I have to say he's played a good game of StarCraft. He's fought well. It looked like he was down and out at one point, but he continued to fight, didn't give up, turtled well when he needed to. A little bit annoying because it wasn't the most glamorous of victories. He turtled, which was not really the most attractive form of StarCraft, but hey, he's not playing StarCraft to be attractive. He's playing StarCraft to win and to get the job done, and that's certainly what he's done. Desperate defending from him at times, but he stayed in the game, he fought till the last, and his great maneuvering with his vultures, he really used those vultures to maximum effect. Anytime got a little bit overconfident once he was in the lead, and we've seen one of the features of this map, that it's really going to be tough to beat a strong battling Terran player on this, because the Terran player can just defend and defend and defend and defend, and I think that the best way around it is to really take control of the map, as Anytime had done, and retain control and just prevent the opponent from getting expansions while you spread yourself. I think that's the best way to play StarCraft on this map versus the Terran player, and obviously fast expansions are going to be the key as well. So Mind taking out Anytime in an epic matchup. This has been an epic matchup, a seesawing battle. I feel that the game was Anytime's to lose, and lost another EMP going off on Anytime's fledgling forces, and really he's got nothing left, and Mind can just fight a running battle here and take them out, whittle those forces down. Reaver drop from Anytime, it's just not really going to do enough. Reaver gets picked off comfortably by Mind, and Anytime is now forced to make Archons. So he's got to force some Dragoons and Archons. That's not really going to do much. He's got no resources left. He's going to be all out of resources. Looks like he's all out of minerals pretty much, which is why we're seeing the Archons come out for Anytime. He's got that expansion at the 5 o'clock position just barely alive, but he's got no probes to actually mine from. He's sending his probes down south now. I'm sure Anytime is going to see this and send his forces down to intercept, and it's just a matter of time before Mind closes off this game. He's got the superior forces on the ground now, and really Anytime had to make his superiority in numbers on the ground count, and he didn't, and now we're going to have a little probe massacre here. He managed to get the Arbiter in. Spider-Mine's being dropped by Mind, but it doesn't really matter at this stage. This game is over. He just doesn't have the resources to fight it out, and if Mind can get those vultures down and see that Nexus just barely alive, he might be able to take it out. Anytime managing to rescue that base down at the 5 o'clock position. Looks like one of the vultures is going to make it south. Okay, there is an Archon waiting for it anyway. Great Spider-Mine drop by it, but take it out nevertheless. Massive force off Minds moving out now. Looks like a command center was destroyed at the 7 o'clock position. I'm not sure why Mind, probably Anytime destroyed it during one of the recent battles that I missed, unfortunately, or for some reason Mind decided to destroy his own command center, which wouldn't make sense unless he's feeling overly generous towards Anytime. Anytime with just a very small ground force left, that Nexus with little to no HP, and this drop would probably finish it off, and that would probably finish off the game. There are 3 photon cannons defending it, and looks like Anytime is ready to make his final attack. 2 siege tanks dropped. All we need to do is get in range of that Nexus, and that'll be GG, because that'll be the end of any resources that Anytime is getting. Anytime really just trying to struggle to hold on in this game. I don't think he's going to be able to. The siege tanks coming in. He's going straight for the Nexus, not realizing the photon cannons were there. Those siege tanks are going to get taken out, and I'm not sure why Mind is being so circumspect in his play here. Another EMP going off. Mind with his forces positioned in the middle of the map. Looks like this game has actually come back in the balance. Looks like both players are running low on resources. Looks like Mind Anytime has been able to take out some of Mind's bases as well. I thought Mind was far ahead and this game was finished. I'm no idea what has happened here. Somehow Anytime has managed to take out Mind's bases at the 7 o'clock at the 5 o'clock position, and has pulled himself back into this game. I have no idea what's going on here, guys. I must have fallen asleep for about 10 minutes of this game somehow, somewhere, and Anytime has just come out from nowhere and actually recovered ground and put himself back into with a fighting chance in this game. He is obviously low on minerals, but he's got that expansion down at the 7 o'clock position running again. A desperate drop coming in again from Mind to try and take out that expansion. He did seem to have a large superiority of numbers in the ground for a while, and I thought he was going to finish Anytime off, but he hasn't been able to do that. And Anytime somehow fighting back, trying to push ahead now with his Archons and Dragoons, being thwarted by the Spider Mines. 2 siege tanks coming in this time. He's going to know to stay out of range of those photon cannons, and Mind really needs to get some defenses down there. Maybe he needs to send a couple of probes in to take those siege tanks, because that Nexus is going to go down, and now that Nexus goes down for Anytime, and that has to be GG, folks. That has to be GG. That's going to give Mind the edge he needs to finish off this game. So Anytime out of nowhere came back in that game. I don't know where that happened, but he managed to somehow take out that expansion down at the 5 o'clock position, and that seemed to dry up the revenue stream, the mineral stream for Mind Mind for some time, allowing Anytime back into the game, and Anytime is now going to take those siege tanks out. I think he's got an expansion running at the 9 o'clock position, so he's still getting some resources from there, though I'm not sure how many minerals, if any, are left there. Mind, meanwhile, has built up a decent force of vultures and siege tanks. Anytime committing himself with the final attack, Storm going off. He doesn't have a lot of forces left. He's going to be able to take out most of those vultures and catch a couple of those dragoons as well, but now he GG's. So Anytime finally GG's, fighting a desperate battle in the end, not able to win. Great game of StarCraft. Both players played some great game of StarCraft. Both players had their moments where they looked like they were in the dominant position. In the end, it was fairly close fought. But I'd say Mind probably deserved that more. It'll be interesting to see how Protoss players adapt to the Terran's ability to defend on this map. It really does look like there is a depth valley leading up into the Terran base, and it's going to be incredibly difficult for Protoss players to break that. So it'll be interesting to see how games between these two pan out in the future. We've seen Flash decimate Bisu on this map, and now we've seen Mind go down to... So we've seen Anytime go down to Mind. So we're going to see a Terran versus Terran in the finale, unfortunately, guys. I'm not a huge fan of Terran versus Terran, but hopefully it'll be an exciting game of StarCraft. This is Klazart. Thanks for listening.